What is good with y'all? It's your boy Young Rome, and I'm back with another video. Gotta fix the cam, had to take it down. I'll be doing multiple things. But look, another segment of Rome After Dark. So we about to get straight off into it. Sorry for all the lag, but let's go. Alright, today on the Rome After Dark channel, we are talking about Incubus and Succubus. The truth that nobody has told you about, actually. So you ever wake up thinking about somebody, you don't even like them like that, you just crave them. But your body does, your mind does, and you never know why. So ancient cultures, they had a word for that feeling. They called it an incubus or a succubus. The definition of that is what spirits that come at night, seduce you, drain you, and then they leave you confused. But see, the thing that they're describing is not a monster in the room. What if it's for real just a weakness in the mind? So let's talk about it. Alright, bet. So in medieval folklore, an incubus was said to visit a woman at night, and a succubus was said to seduce men in their sleep. They described it as extremely attractive, appearing during vulnerability, feeding off sexual energy, leaving that person weak, obsessed, and drained. Now hold on, let's think about that real quick. So this thing, whatever they were describing, appears while you're vulnerable, feeding on your desire, and leaving you drained? That sounds like a demon to me, I ain't even gonna care. But it's not a demon, it's more like an unhealed attachment. So back then, people didn't understand dopamine, they didn't understand trauma bonding, they didn't understand nervous system addiction. They use spiritual language, and sometimes spiritual language is just as poetic. Alright, the modern day succubus. So let's be honest, the modern day succubus isn't floating around in your room. It's the person who attracts to your trauma. It's the girl who love bombs you, disappears, comes back, makes you crave validation, gives you attention that you know you don't even want. But then you're hooked. So she doesn't need love spells. Hot and cold is the spell. Uncertainty is the spell. Sexual tension is the spell. Because uncertainty spikes dopamine harder than stability. And dopamine is more powerful. It makes chaos feel electric. It makes drama feel passionate. It makes instability feel deep, but depth and intensity aren't the same thing. Alright, bet. Now I want to talk about energy drain. Alright, here's the part that nobody says aloud. You ever left someone and you felt tired and drained in your spirit? Not sleepy, but heavy, foggy, obsessed, thinking about them even when you don't want to. That's not a demon, that's your nervous system. It's dysregulated. That's a chemical withdrawal. So when you're bonded sexually, emotionally, and intensely, your dopamine releases your brain releases dopamine, oxytocin, and vasopressin. I get it. You'll get wired, super wired. And when that connection becomes unstable, your body goes into craving mode. Ancient people called that being drained by a spirit. But modern science calls it attachment chemistry. But either way, it feels like something took your power. And when you don't understand what's happening, it could feel supernatural. Alright, but let's go deeper. Warlocks and witches in folklore, where it said they used to cast spells. But what's a spell? A spell changes your state. Seduction changes your state. Validation changes your state. Sex changes your state. If someone can change your state, your emotional state, then they have power over you. But that's the real magic. Not candles. Control. Love bombing is a spell. Gaslighting is a spell. Withholding affection is a spell. Because it alters perception. And when perception changes, reality changes. So we're going to call that psychological sorcery. One thing I want to talk about is for the people that go with multiple partners back to back to back to back, you don't feel drained. You don't feel like your energy. I feel like, okay, you need to start taking care of your energy and not giving your energy everywhere. Like not everybody deserves you. Not everybody got a little piece of you. Alright, bet. Let's talk about the spiritual battle. So now this is where it gets uncomfortable, and this is the uncomfortable truth. The incubus isn't a spirit, it's an impulse. The real succubus isn't a demon, it's your addiction. Your addiction to be desired. If you can't control lust, you'll call it destiny. If you can't control your cravings, then you'll call it chemistry. If you can't control your impulses, then you'll blame it on something outside yourself. But what's the battlefield? The battlefield is inside. Desire versus discipline. Pleasure versus peace. Impulse versus identity. But that's the war. That's the war most men and women lose because of demons. Most people lose because of their lack of control. A demon has nothing to do with that. Alright, let's get balanced. So there's people out there that believe in supernatural warfare, literally. And I'm not mocking that, but even if you view it spiritually, the doorway is always discipline. You don't get drained when you're grounded. You don't get possessed when you're present. You don't get controlled when you control yourself. Self-mastery is spiritual protection. Whether you frame it religiously or psychology, however you want to frame it, you still got to ground yourself. So what you got to do is reflect and ask yourself, why does chaos excite you? Why does validation feel like oxygen? Why does sexual tension feel like connection? Why do you miss the people who destabilized you? And the real question is, when you realize the answer was never outside, it was inside your habits. So look, this is Rome After Dark, and I'm going to keep it real with you. This isn't fear talk, this is awareness. So ancient cultures really believe in succubus, believing that this type of stuff still controls the world. And that can be something that you believe in too, or you can realize that science breaks down everything. It's all science. But ancient cultures used to describe demons as desire. We use therapy language, different words, same battle. If something drains your clarity, then question it. If something controls your emotions, then observe it. And if something is intoxicating, then you got to be careful, because not every strong connection is destiny. Sometimes it's just the dopamine dressed like fate. What I want to know is what you're going through right now. Do you feel like it's spiritual? Do you feel like it's mental? Do you feel like if you told anybody, would anyone ever believe you? Because I promise someone out there is going through the same thing or has been through what you're going through. So it's better to talk to someone. My closing is, I do believe in that there is succubus. I do believe in there's incubus and warlocks, and you just got to stay prayed up and know who you're messing with. If you start messing with a man or a woman and your skin and your body and you don't want to eat, now you're getting sick and all this stuff is happening, that should be a sign. I'm not saying that they're completely warlocks or energy vampires, but that can be a sign, and everything is a sign. Your body's going to tell you first, especially when not to be messing with somebody. 100,000%. But it's your boy on Rome. It's Rome After Dark. I'm going to be here doing my thing. I'm going to see y'all in the next one. Peace. Hope you enjoy.